Hello everybody and welcome to another YouTube video. That is a strange intro, but I can't think of anything else. So if you're a common viewer of this channel, you might tell that the background is a bit different. And if you've seen my streams, it will also be different as well. That's because I've decided to try out something new. I'm actually in what we call the music room because I have all my instruments and stuff in here. And this was actually designed by me and my sister, mostly my sister. I don't want to take the credit at all, but yeah, it's pretty cool. So I thought maybe this would be a cool backdrop for the YouTube video. In this YouTube video I'll be reviewing Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, which came out a few days ago at the time of this recording. So yeah, let's get into the review. So I loved this movie. It was amazing from start to finish. I was like smiling basically the whole way through the film. It was that good. This movie was directed by Sam Raimi, if you don't know. He directed the original Spider-Man movies. He directed the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies, sorry. And yeah, those films I'm not actually the biggest fan of. Don't tell anyone, I'll get killed for saying that. But yeah, some of the acting was a bit off in those movies, and I don't know, it just I liked them. Just some of the acting was a bit weird and kind of made me break out of the immersion. But in this movie, all the acting was good. Like, literally all the acting was good. I don't think there's one bad bit of acting in this movie. Some of the script writing was a bit at times. I'll go more into that in my spoiler review. Yeah, but all the acting in this movie was like amazing, like genuinely amazing. Elizabeth Olsen did a great job at being Wanda in this movie, and she's done a great job of being Wanda in every other movie, but wow, she was amazing in this movie. Same with Benedict Cumberbatch. He was really good in this movie. I'd say probably his best acting performance in the MCU so far. And then obviously the other characters, Wong and America Chavez, played by Benedict Wong and Xochitl Gomez, both amazing at playing their characters. Even though they're kind of more to the side, especially with Wong, they were really good in this movie. And some of the best parts in this movie, in my opinion. Some of the camera work was crazy at some points, and I loved it. It was like, I don't know, I wasn't like Edgar Wright films, that type of camera work. It wasn't that level, because I really like the camera work in those movies, but yeah, it was really cool at some points. And there's like a visual gag with the camera work, and I don't think that the MCU has done anything like that, at least not on this level. I already touched on the script writing a bit, but yeah, some points were just, I don't know, they just felt like quite off. There's kind of like a lot of exposition at some points, which I mean isn't always bad, sometimes you need that. But I don't know, it just felt too much. Like, they did manage to like break it sometimes with like cuts and stuff in between it and like jokes to make it feel less just like, you know, exposition just being thrown at you. But I don't know, it kind of made me feel a bit weird. And there's some points in the script that just like, I don't know, I'll get more into it in my spoiler review, which I said already, but yeah, it was a bit Next, I want to touch on the CGI. I was really impressed by the CGI. Everyone's like saying it's bad and it takes them out of the movie, but I really don't understand that. Like that octopus creature thing in the trailers, that was amazing. I mean, there were some points where it looked a bit off compared to the live action stuff, but it was so detailed, it was insane. Like, I don't even know how people can do that. It's very impressive, and I think people are being way too mean on the CGI. I mean, people spent hours, days, probably weeks and months on the CGI, and people are just being like, oh, it looks awful and it's terrible, which is just not true at all. So the story was actually pretty good and simple, surprisingly. I wouldn't say too simple, but at some point maybe a bit, but I saw a lot of people saying this movie was like confusing, and to be honest, I didn't understand that. But I mean, I don't know, I'm just one person, I can't really say for everyone else if it was confusing or not. But yeah, I didn't find it quite confusing. It was like one straight story, which we don't usually get in Marvel movies. I mean, there were some B plots and stuff, but it was like connected to the main plot, and it was like not just like separate characters. Well, it was separate characters doing stuff, but it wasn't separate stories, you know, which surprisingly actually happens a lot in Marvel movies. I mean, it still connects to the main story, but it is more of a separate story. But yeah, this movie actually had a pretty good story in my opinion, and although the trailers maybe didn't do the story justice and kind of like made it seem like it was a different story, I think that it did a very good job of the story that it had. So yeah, that seems to be all I have on my notes that I wrote down. I hope to talk about this movie more in the future because I loved it. I mean, I wouldn't say it's my favourite MCU movie, but it was still a really, really good MCU movie. But my score, I think an 8 out of 10 would be a pretty good score for this. Maybe 8.5, I don't know, somewhere in the range of 8 to like 9. So 8, 8.5, 9, that range. It was, yeah, I really enjoyed this movie, and I hope everyone who goes and sees it, whether it's because of this review or if they've already seen it, or if they're just going because they want to go and see it, I hope everyone enjoyed it or enjoys it, because I did. But yes, that has been this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.